Hi guys, welcome back again to my kitchen and to my channel. This is another vegan recipe. You guys asked me how to make vegan veggie chunks in your kitchen. Fast, easy and simple. Come on and let me show you how I make mine in my Jamaican kitchen.
You don't remember where you're coming from. You don't remember where you're coming from. You don't remember where you're coming from. Rastafari, why you turn your back on your brother when him need you? You don't remember the days when him feed you. You know when no obligation but to him some respect. All you need to do is just give him what you forget. Turn your back on your brother when him need you.
Now, the first thing we want to do is talk about our veggie chunks. This is the vegan veggie chunk. It's gluten-free. And the one that I'm using is the Ocherius brand. I think I paid about almost $10 for this. But it's very, 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 very good. So now let's get into our vegetables. To make the best ITAL stew vegetable vegan chunk recipe. So good. Now guys, you can use any vegetables that you have access to, but when I'm making this particular recipe, I like to find as much vegetables as I can to make this recipe. I have scallion and thyme, celery, onions, tomato, carrot, butter squash is right there, sweet potatoes, Irish potato, I have machocha, and pumpkin. And I also have some celery and green bell pepper right there. Now, this is what your chocha looks like. Now, I'm going to need my allspice, some browning to give it some color, vinegar. I'm going to use a fresh coconut. If you don't have access to a fresh coconut, get yourself a canned coconut, powdered coconut, cream, whatever you can find, you get it. But you're going to need coconut cream for this recipe. I'm going to be using my oats flour for this recipe. To give it flavor, black pepper, seasoned salt. Jamaican all-purpose seasoning is wonderful for flavoring for this recipe. And I'm also going to add tons of garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic, use powdered garlic. It's just fine. And all your ingredients amount will be listed down below. Let's get started. Now guys, we're moving on to the very first step of getting our dish started. Now, this is the one that I choose to buy. My caramel tone soya vegan chunk, vegetable chunk. Alright, so this is what it looks like inside of your package. I'm going to be using about 1.5 cups of this to get my dish. If you're making for more, you might need more. But I'm making for about 4 to 5 people, and trust me, with the vegetables and everything added to 1.5 cups of the chunks, it's going to be perfect for serving. Now we are moving on to our next step. You want to get that vegetable chunk for. You want to make sure you get some warm water, and you're going to put your chunks in, and you're going to have it sit in that warm water for about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. After 15 to 20 minutes, it's going to soften up. And when it softens up, the texture pretty much looks just like meat. Just like that. Pretty spongy. So what you're going to do, you're going to go ahead and kind of give it a nice little squeeze for about 3 minutes of doing this. And after 3 minutes, you squeeze the water out as much as you can get out of it and put it into a separate container. And your veggie chunks are ready. Okay guys, let's get started in making the best vegan vegetarian stew chunk recipe ever. I have my pot there. I'm going to add some coconut oil to that and some vegan butter. I'm going to add some garlic as well. If you have fresh ginger, use it. If you have powdered ginger, use it as well. Give this a nice little mix. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my veggie chunks in. And cook this for about 3 minutes. It's going to soak up the oil, and that is perfectly fine. after 3 minutes, you want to go ahead and add all your vegetable inside of that vegetable chunk. Now if you want that thing to have flavor, you're going to add your Jamaican all-purpose seasoning and your black pepper. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my pimento seeds to it. I'm going to add some vinegar. And I'm adding about 2 cups of coconut cream to this. Now I'm going to give it some color. So I'm going to go ahead and add my brown into it.
Knew what it took to be this dope. Back on the ropes, imagine me broke. Hungry and sour, no reaper to smoke. Part of my sleeve where I leave that door. No love lost, really mean that door. CEO, make it rain, dear boy, we need that door. Stay here right now, probably.
While my stew is cooking, I'll go ahead and make my spinach them for my stew. Alright, I have a cup of the oats flour. And there's also no salt in here. If you want to add salt, go ahead and add salt. But there is absolutely no salt to this recipe. Now all I'm doing here is adding my water.
They make things worse. Work, holla, mighty dollar, milk the game for all it's worth. I'm leaving. Love is all I wanted.
And that is what the dough looks like. It's a total different texture from flour, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and get a plastic bag or plastic wrap and just put it inside of it. I'm going to let this stay nice and moist until my stew is ready. Let's move on. Okay guys, my stew is cooking nicely, just the way we want it to cook. Let me bring you guys in so you can see how yumptious this thing is looking. You see that? That is looking good. Now it's time to go ahead and add my spinach in. And these are my spinach right here.
Fame is all I needed. Can't have your cake and eat it. Need to get more than even. If only you know.
Now that my spinach are in, we just mix that in. And you want to make sure that your fire is on low heat at this step. You want to make sure that your fire is turned down once again to low heat. Take it off a low to medium heat and put it on low heat, because you want this thing to simmer nice and slow so that the spices from your vegan chunks can go right into those little splitters right there and make it nice and yumptious. Another 10 to 15 minutes on low heat, and may I tell you, this thing is gonna be massive, served with some rice. Oh, so good. Looky here. Vegan, vegetarian stew using vegetarian chunks, vegetable chunks, soy free. Look at that, guys. Look at Juliana Kitchen. All vegetables in one pot. Vegan life no get no better than that.
Hold me close till I.
This was another good one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and share. Let me know what you want to see me cooking in my kitchen next. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen.
Love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No,
I'm gonna let this cook for a good 30 minutes on medium heat. Cover it up nice and make it simmer. And when it's done simmer, a time for eat. So see you back in a few minutes.
So this is in with your foundation, full coverage, you know, like bam. And last but not least, the last thing I tend to go for in my makeup collection is this palette right here. Let me show you what this baby looks like. It has a whole bunch of concealers. I believe it's $10 for this palette.